Okay, so fraction basics. First thing we need to review is that the numerator is the top number, denominator is the bottom number, and that fraction bar means divide. So when I took the number 4 over 5 and I circled the 4 and I circled the 5, it looks like the division sign, right? Okay, so that means a fraction problem is just a division problem, okay? All right, so we know we can't add or subtract fractions with unlike denominators. So the first thing we have to do is find a common denominator, which is we're going to find the LCM, least common multiple. Second, we have to make equivalent fractions. So we have to use that LCM to make equivalent fractions, and we'll practice that in a second. And then we'll add or subtract. And when we add or subtract only the numerator. And then we're going to reduce if possible. Okay? So if I have a fraction 1/4 plus 2/3, okay, 4 and 3 are unlike denominators. So the first thing we have to do is to find a common denominator. All right. So basically, we're going to skip count by 4 and 3. So you can do a tic-tac-toe board. 4, 8, 12, 16, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. Okay. The first number that they both have in common is the 12. Okay. The LCM, least common multiple. That means smallest number both fractions have in common, both denominators actually. Okay, so the LCM is the least common multiple, which means it is the smallest number both the denominators have in common. So in this case, the LCM is 12. So I'm going to make the denominator 12 on both of those. Okay, so next, we're going to make equivalent fractions. So when we look at this, 1 over 4 equals something over 12. I know for a fact that 4 is equal to 12. 4 equals 12. What can I multiply 4 by to get 12? 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to multiply the denominator by 3, which means I'm going to have to multiply the numerator by 3, because whatever you do to the bottom, you have to do to the top. And 1 times 3 is 3. Okay, 2/3 equals something over 12. Well, I know 3 is equal to 12. 3 will go into 12 4 times. So that means 3 times 4 equals 12. Whatever I do to the denominator, I have to do to the numerator. So times 4. 2 times 4 is 8. Now, add or subtract. Well, we're doing addition. We're going to add only the numerators. 8 plus 3 is 11, and the denominator stays the same. And 11 over 12 is as low as it can go. It doesn't reduce any more than that. All right, you try one. Let's do 4/5 and 2/3. Okay, 4/5 and 2/3. So the denominators are 5 and 3. So make you a tic-tac-toe board for 5 and 3. And find the smallest number they both have in common. Okay, 10, 15, 20, 3, 6, 9, still nothing. 12, nope. 15, yep. So 15 should have been your least common multiple. Okay, so you made equivalent fractions. All right, so 5 will go into 15. 1, 2, 3 times. So we're going to multiply 5 times 3. So then we have to multiply the numerator times 3. 4 times 3 is 12. 3 equals 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. So 3 times 5 equals 15. So then we have to do 2 times 15. Or 2 times 5, sorry. 2 times 5 is 10. Now add it up. Okay, you should have 22 over 15. All right, so now this leads us to something new. Or not new, but something we can review. All right, so 22 over 15 is an improper fraction. Okay. Okay, because the numerator is greater than the denominator, right? Okay, so improper fractions, that's where the numerator is greater than the denominator. So 22 is greater than 15, so that's an improper fraction. And we change it by doing TIBO. TIBO means top in, bottom out. Means, remember when I said that fraction bar means divide? Okay, so that means we're going to do 22 divided by 15. The top on the inside, bottom on the outside. So we would say 22 divided by, so 22 is on the inside. We're going to divide it by 15. 15 is on the outside. Top in, bottom out. Okay? Well, 15 times 1 is 15. 15 times 2 is 30. So it's only going to go in there one time. Okay, 2 minus 5 would give me a negative, so I have to borrow. 12 minus 5 is 7. Okay, so here's the most important part. This is our whole number. This is what's left over. We have 7, which becomes the numerator, out of 15, which is the denominator. 1 and 7/15. Okay, so your denominator is whatever you divided by. Okay, whatever you're dividing by, that's your denominator. Whatever's left over, your remainder, is your numerator. Okay? Okay, so let's practice a couple. 10 over 3. So we're going to go 10 divided by 3. Top in, bottom out. 3 will go into 10 3 times. 3 times 3 is 9. 10 minus 9 is 1. All right. So our whole number is 3. We have 1 left over out of 3. 1 becomes the numerator. 3 is the denominator. 3 and 1/3. Okay, 9 over 4. 9 on the inside. 4 on the outside. 4 will go into 9 2 times. 4 times 2 is 8. 9 minus 8 is 1. So 2 is our whole number. 1 becomes the numerator. And the 4 is the denominator. Okay? Okay, so while we're talking about TIBO, let's look at how to take the mixed number, 3 and 1/3 or 2 and 1/4, or in this case, 4 and 3/5, and turn it into an improper fraction. Okay? We do what we call around the world or the popcorn method or whatever you want to call it. But we start at the denominator and we work around, and we're going to multiply the denominator times the whole number. Okay? And 5 times 4 is 20. Okay? And then we're going to take that answer and we're going to add it to the numerator. 20 plus 3 is 23. And then the denominator stays the same. Okay? Or you could look at it and say the C method. 4 and 3/5. So C, we're doing a backward C. Start at the denominator. We're going to multiply down here, and we're going to add at the top. 5 times 4 is 20. 20 plus 3 is 23. The denominator stays the same. It will be 5. Okay? So let's look at 3 and 1/3. 3 and 1/3. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 plus 1 is 10. Denominator is 3. 3 and 1/3. 10 over 3. 3 1/3, 10 over 3. Okay. 2 1/4. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 plus 1 is 9. Denominator stays 4. 9 over 4. Okay, it doesn't matter which method you use. You just need to remember that you multiply the denominator times the whole number, get that answer, and add the numerator. And at all times, the denominator stays the same. Okay? Amber designed a long rectangular park that has 4 sections. Section 1 and 2 each make up 1/8 of the area of the park. Section 3 makes 1/2 of the area of the park, as shown in the model. What fraction of the area of the park does Section 4 make up? Okay, so we need to look at how much first is being taken up. So Section 1 and 2 each make up 1/8 of the area. That means this is 1/8, this is 1/8, right? Section 3 takes up 1/2 of the area of the park. All right, and we're looking for Section 4. Okay, so I know that each of these sections is 1/8, so I'm going to first add those up because they have common denominators, so all I have to add is the numerators. 1 plus 1 is 2, so that's 2/8 of the park, right? So if 2/8 of the park are Section 1 and 2, and then 1/2 is Section 3, so 2/8 plus 1/2, the common denominator between 2 and 8 is going to be 8, because 2 will go into 8 4 times, right? And if you have to, you do 2, 4, 6, 8. 8, 16, and you see that 8 is the smallest number they both have in common. Okay, so 8 is the smallest number they have in common. That means 2/8 stays the same. 2 times 4 equals 8, so 1 times 4. 1 times 4 is 4. 4 plus 2 equals 6, and the denominator is 8. Okay, so now that means the whole park has to be 8/8 because the denominator is 8, right? So if the whole park is 8 over 8, that's one whole park, and I have 6/8 already covered for Section 1, 2, and 3, all I have to do is figure out what the difference is. 8 minus 6 is 2. The denominator is 8. 2/8 is left over. So let's practice some adding and subtracting fractions. Okay, so 2/5 plus 3/4. So I want you to add that and see what you get as your answer. Okay, so your common denominator should have been 20. 5 times 4 is 20. 2 times 4 is 8. 4 times 5 is 20. 3 times 5 is 15. Okay, you add and you get 23 over 20, which is improper. So then you convert. 20 will go into 23 one time with 3 over 20 left over. All right, do 3/4 minus 1/6. Okay, so you should have found that 12 is your common denominator. 4 will go into 12 times 3. 3 times 3 is 9. 6 will go into 12 times 2. 1 times 2 is 2. 9 minus 2 is 7, and the denominator is 12. Okay, but what happens if we need to reduce? Reduce. Okay, so what if I have the problem, my answer came out to be 12 over 18. Okay, to reduce, we're going to do a T-chart for each number. Okay, a T-chart for the numerator and a T-chart for the denominator. We're going to list all the factors. That means what times what equals the number on top. 1 times 12, 2 times 6, 3 times 4, all equal 12. 1 times 18, 2 times 9, 3 times 6, all equal 18. So we're looking for the greatest common factor, the GCF. That's the biggest number they both have in common. So they both have a 1, a 2, a 3, a 6, and that's it. So the greatest common factor is 6. So that means we're going to divide the numerator by 6, and we're going to divide the denominator by 6. 12 divided by 6 is 2. 18 divided by 6 is 3. So it reduces to 2/3. Okay, so basically if you've done your T-chart, when you say 12 divided by 6, whatever you circled should be the greatest common factor. Next door is the answer. 12 divided by 6 is 2. 18 divided by 6 is 3. So you're not actually having to do any multiplication or division. Okay? So this was just good review for y'all today. I'm going to give you a little paper to practice on.